Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to share some thoughts with you that I had this morning when I was out on a walk. I did get hit with a rainstorm, but fortunately, a very kind neighbor that I had never met before slowed down, came to a stop, and offered me a ride home because I was out almost at the furthest point I go away from home, and then thank goodness he caught me before I got drenched and my phone got ruined. I know, phones, right? The paper I'm working on that I've been thinking a lot about in the mornings on these walks is on the Vedas and Upanishads. It's for a course I'm taking at Oxford University. And it's such a deep subject to really ask ourselves, who am I? What am I? And I'm going to be putting out a series of little posts for all of you about this because I just filmed them, and then I wanted to come here and share with you live a bit. So what are we? We get caught up in this human existence. Earlier today, I put a video that I made a day or two ago on TikTok about aura because I saw someone talking about it and it sparked my desire to share some reality. A lot of people only think of their aura as the only layer that's exterior of the body. Some people think of the astral body as being the only other part of us, but we have layers. We have many layers. This thing we call I, this thing we call physical body, this is the smallest of all of them. It's the meat body. And then we have an emotional layer. That meat body relates to the root chakra, Muladhara, and then the emotional layer to Svadhisthana, the second chakra. Then we have Manipura, the intellectual center. And it makes sense because in our bodies, the viscera are located here in the top of the belly, is that bridging point to the lung area. This top of the belly, Manipura chakra, the intellectual, is where we take information in and then we pull it apart and we start to get analytical with it. And this makes sense because the digestive organs do this too with whatever we put in our mouths. In between the intellectual layer and the emotional layer is where the aura is. It's an interesting crisscrossing of energy. And then we have Anahata, the heart chakra, the energy of air. A lot of people might get confused and think this is fire, but it's not. Fire is in Manipura because we use that in order to digest. Fire's so important. Fire needs air, and it's the friction of air that creates it. In Anahata, this is number 4 on the chain of 7, so it is the middle point. And this is where things can start to come up and out of our mouths, out of Vishuddha chakra. But then it goes back into our own ears. So I love what Don Miguel Ruiz said in his book, an entire chapter devoted to be impeccable with your words. Have integrity with what you're saying, not just because of the other people hearing you, but because it's going back in your own ears and then back into your heart again. Here we have the third eye, the wings that we want to open up, but it is back here in Akasha where our ability to affect things and create changes happen. Anything above happens on their own as we try to draw Kundalini up through these chakras. Here in Vishuddha, Akasha, space is the element. It is indelible, even more of a reason to be impeccable with your words. And then Saraswara, the rainbow flower of every color, even beyond what we can see in this reality. So when you're thinking about your auric field, realize it can be affected and you can affect it because it is within the area of fire and water. Water is changing and calm and peaceful. We associate it with the moon and reflective qualities, with emotions. Fire is transformative. It is necessary. It is needed for us to be able to digest not just food, but thought. And then the true self. Not any of this. Not the astral body, but rather the witness of it all, the Atman.